I'm here with Patrick from Garmin. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making the trip out here. Patrick's here to tell us and take us through the Garmin products. If you've been to our website, we are now selling a range of Garmin watches and the new Garmin Inreach. I had the opportunity to really put Garmin to the test this summer on my sheep hunt. I bought it to really work with the UC Davis Human Performance Lab to gather data, track my hunt, look at elevation gains and declines, monitor my heart rate to take that data and look at what we did on in the laboratory testing versus real-world testing on a sheep hunt. And it really let me dive into how much you can gather off these watches, how much there's there, and how really with the mapping, I mean, it kind of saved my lunch one night coming out in the middle of the night, cutting across this gnarly cliff rock face. And I was thinking, God, I know there's a trail through here because we cut it during the day. And I thought, oh my God, yeah, I can just dive into my watch. Sure. Looked at the backtrack, put me right back on the trail, took us right back to camp. And just how useful these products are. And I can't believe we can get that much out of something.
Onto that whole screen.
We wear on our wrist now.
Yep.
And then now with the app, which you'll take us through, how it connects, you can download your data. It's really simple and easy to use, which, watches in the past, things I've used in the past, I'm not that tech savvy. Yeah. I'm kind of a caveman as far as that's concerned. So it needs to be simple and easy to use, and for me to be able to use this and use it on a regular basis, you guys have certainly made it convenient. Sure. And the IQ and the Connect, the app, make it all really user friendly. So I think today would be great to talk a little bit about the watches we're carrying. Yep. Kind of highlight some of the features and benefits to each watch and what they give to our customer base and why they should consider these Garmin products for their mountain hunts. And then I want to spend some time on the Inreach because it's a really cool product and really useful.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, thanks again for having me.
Absolutely.
We at Garmin, are always trying to come up with user-friendly products that are durable, and you guys can take them out in the mountains and abuse them and come back and share that experience and have data from it. So, we've been making the car GPS is kind of what a lot of people know us for, but a lot of people are hunting with our handheld GPS devices. And then, in the early 2000s, we are a fitness company as well. So we started looking at, what people want in data for their fitness pursuits. And sort of now in 2017, we've got the Phoenix line here. So you guys have brought on this product. It's kind of our premium multi-sport mountain watch. It's designed with durable materials in mind. It's got a little bit more aesthetic of a look, I guess. So it's something that you can wear. Exactly. Something you can wear out to out to dinner or to the office all day and then go abuse in the mountains on the weekends or when you get some time off. So the Phoenix 5 is the latest sort of iteration of this family. What you'll see with these guys are really durable lenses. So this is the Phoenix 5. And then this larger device here is the Phoenix 5X.
Which is what I used.
That's what you've got. Yeah, there's a couple key differences between the two of them, so we'll talk about that. But the things that they share are they're all stainless steel watches. They've got wrist-based heart rate monitoring going on. So, all day, every day, or during your hunt, you can actually keep tabs right on your wrist of what's going on and, track that perforence over time.
How accurate is the wrist-based versus a strap?
Versus a strap, sure. So we make, a very nice chest strap. If you're doing interval training, you're going to get a little bit more accurate data there. We should be within 10 beats per minute of your actual electronic heartbeat 90% of the time. So we say about 90% accurate. What I'll find is if I'm out in the mountains, I'm not going to notice a huge difference. If I'm doing some interval training, then it'll kind of round and you'll get some peaks and valleys. But that wrist-based technology we think right now is some of the most accurate stuff out there right now. And then it's just a more really affordable. You don't have to buy the chest strap and convenient solution.
It is.
And then of course you're not going to wear a chest strap most people all day every day, so you don't get as much. Average resting heart rate data as you do when you're using the wrist-based technology.
It's on your wrist. You're getting your heart rate.
Exactly. So they both share those durable, material features. Kind of a cool feature that we've come out with on this latest family is these quick fit bands. So we have a bunch of different colors of band.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. A lot of people when they see me do that, they think that it must be kind of a flimsy design, but that thing's not going anywhere.
No, mine's never come off. And taking some tumbles with it on.
Exactly. We've got some leather bands, some metal bands. So, just a kind of a nicer aesthetic. These are a very durable silicones. We're not too worried about them wearing out over time or breaking.
And I've noticed wearing mine, I don't know if you can get this blaze on the close-up, but it has stretch to it, which makes it super comfortable.
Exactly.
And also get a nice tight fit, but not constrict.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, and especially I didn't necessarily wear a large watch before the Phoenix line came out. So it looks kind of big when you first put it on, I guess for my wrist anyways. But it's so comfortable that, after a couple minutes, I just got used to it and I don't even realize it's there anymore. So in terms of, why would someone get a watch like this to go use in the mountains? Obviously it has that, physiological data tracking capability. We can look at things like your VO2 max or some of the higher end, data that you might want if you're training. But the real kind of thing that makes these shine is they're GPS enabled. So you can, on the watch, see your latitude and longitude, maybe to cross-reference with a map and a compass. It'll actually track where you've walked, so at the end of a hunt or the end of whatever activity you're doing. These are multi-sport, so if you want to track a bike ride, you can save it as a bike ride. If you want to track your mountain weekend, you can do that, or just a run. It'll save it into our app different ways, and you can go see exactly on a map with satellite imagery where you were.
It's really cool.
Yep,
I've done that.
So I mentioned that there's some, navigational functionality on these, so I can look at things like an elevation profile of my ascent, heart rate data, and then this Phoenix 5 model, I actually get a little base map on there, so I can see on a map where I am in relationship to my breadcrumb. So that's what the feature you were talking about, where let's say fog rolls in or it gets dark and you just don't know where the trail that you were just on was. You can use this to kind of reference to get back to camp or back to the truck or wherever you need to go. It doesn't necessarily have mapping on it, but that's why people are looking at this Phoenix 5X model. So these really share most of the same features. 5X is a little bit bigger of a watch.
It's got a little bit bigger face, a little thicker.
Exactly. A little bit more robust size, but when I go into the user interface on this guy, I actually get topographic mapping.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
You can use this to kind of pan around. And so obviously here in Dixon, California, there's not a whole lot of topography to look at.
It is dead flat in Dixon, California, by the way.
But we can, maybe zoom over to the mountains. I mean, most of the time when people are using that, it's just to get situational awareness around them and see, where there's water or what that peak is named in the distance. If there's a road nearby, where does it go, right? So you can just pull up your wrist watch and look right at it. So that's really the primary kind of difference between the two watches that you guys carry when you're looking at them. So on KUIU.com, you guys have the Phoenix 5. That's this guy, a little bit smaller. This one actually has a little longer battery life.
I've seen that.
When we're talking about battery life at Garmin, there's a couple sort of things that we take into consideration. So there's one reading or one sort of number that we give on how long does this thing last in kind of an all-day, everyday use mode. The Phoenix family is going to get typically about 12 to 14 days of battery life. It kind of depends if you're connected to your mobile phone a lot. Are you getting text messages and app notifications pushed through? Are you using the backlight a lot? A little bit of variance. The next battery life that we're looking at is with wrist-based heart rate and GPS out on a trip, tracking. This guy, with everything on, you'll get about 24 hours of battery life.
Which is the 5,
Yep. When you go up here, just because it's got a little bit different software and we're running the map engine, you'll get about 20. So a little bit less battery life on this guy.
Yeah, when I used it up in BC, I'd charge it every night. And it wasn't a big deal. It charges really fast, actually.
It does,
I was kind of surprised how fast it charges.
Exactly. You guys sell them actually, but I always recommend like the Goal Zero little Switch 10 product or the solar panels that are out there that are portable.
Yeah, we got a whole kind of recharging and battery package we recommend.
Yeah, so these are just super compatible. Just plug them right into that stuff and they'll charge up quickly. One feature that your customers probably want to look into if they're doing multi-day mountain hunts is our Ultra Track mode. So that's actually in the activity activity profile, you'll go in, turn on ultra track mode, and what that does is it actually sort of staggers how often the GPS is turning on. So you don't get quite as accurate of a track, but for mountain setting, it's not really going to be noticeable to you, and that'll extend the battery life out to about 60 hours on these watches. So if you've got an overnighter.
And one of the things I also noticed, if you put it in a hike mode or a climbing mode, you can also go in advance and set up the different data you want to view.
Yep.
Heart rate, distant, your elevation gain, decline. You can customize what you're looking at on your watch. I thought that was very useful.
Yeah, any piece of data you want to see, you can put it right where you need to in those data screens. And then once you figure out how to drive these things with the buttons, it's a piece of cake from there. So I think that's really what kind of the edge we have on a lot of our competitors out there is really high resolution screens, really user friendly.
It is.
And then all the data you would ever really need. I mean, there's some
the ability to get that data out of the watch.
Exactly.
Which I think is key from some of the other ones I've used.
So we mentioned too that it connects to our app ecosystem. There's really cool stuff you can do in our app. So we have this store within the app called the Garmin Connect IQ store. Most of the stuff in there, it's all free, but you can download particular pieces of metric or data that you want to look at. So like on this one I've got, it's called the Garmin Fish Hunt widget. So I'll just show you guys what that looks like real quick. So this is something that you can just go into the app, pull down if you want to look at it, but that way any time of the day you can scroll down to it and it will tell you, based on, I guess I gotta, there it is, based on where you are, sunrise, moonrise, the best times to go fishing and hunting based on where you're at during that day. So some really cool stuff that you can customize the watch with. My favorite customization right now is
mine too.
Yeah, this slick KUIU watch face. So
yeah, thank you for putting that together for us.
Yeah,
I know we talked about it. I don't know, we'll see. I know we've offered in the past, but you have done, so thank you.
Yep. So this is something that your customers or anyone who has a Phoenix 5 series right now.
Yeah, check out my watch. I don't know if you can see it, Blaze, but it's upside down.
Got it rolling?
Got it on there. Patrick put it on there for me. What's that?
Get a little further down there.
Can you see it?
Yeah, not well. There.
All right. My watch has got us the whole point.
Yep. So for a lot of your customers, the data they want to look at day to day is obviously time, date, elevation information.
Yep.
So that's just the basic watch face that you can look at all day.
I've got images of those that we can pull up.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And there is I did a post on my Instagram account. The back of the watch face is our camouflage pattern, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah,
put in there.
Nice touch.
It is.
Yep. So that will be available in Garmin Connect, the app, in the IQ store in about a week.
About a week.
So
okay.
You'll just need to go to that store, type in KUIU, and it will come right up.
Hey, McKay, will you make sure we find out and post that up?
Of course.
Yeah, we'll do another kind of social media pop on that for sure.
That's sweet.
So there's that. There's kind of some other cool stuff you can do. Like you can actually make any photo that's in your phone into a custom watch face with the Garmin Face It app that we have. So really customizable little computer that can give you most of the data you'd ever want, and then is super durable. The one thing that I'll mention too that I kind of glazed over is, so when you go to the 5X, you get the mapping. This also has a Sapphire Quartz lens.
Oh, that's right.
This has a very durable glass lens on the 5. When you go to the Sapphire Quartz, it's scratch proof. So I mean, I've used this. I do a lot of climbing expeditions. For easier stuff, I'll leave it on and just kind of beat it up. And my bezel is a little chewed up on my watches.
Yeah, mine doesn't have a scratch on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's been through an entire fall so far. It's getting thrashed.
So just so it kind of adds to that nicer aesthetic and then the durability, and it's something that your customers can get with confidence and go use in the mountains.
Yeah.
So
guarantee spending a little bit more to get the 5X, in my opinion, having looked and researched both, I recommend.
Yeah, the 100K topo mapping is just awesome.
Yeah, it is.
If you're using it around town, it also has Garmin's, sort of city mapping database. So I can do a really cool feature that I like as I travel a lot is I want to go do a 5-mile run round trip from my hotel. I can program that in as a round trip run,
really?
and then it'll give me turn-by-turn directions on streets to get back to where I needed to go.
That's awesome. I could use that.
Yeah, exactly. In a mountain setting, you can actually create like a hike or a course in the Garmin Connect app now, and then push it in there and then go follow that in the field as well. So lots of that, navigation utility that Garmin's known for, pared down into our little watch there. So that's
great. McKay, do you want to take questions on the watch now? You want to dive into Inreach before we take questions?
There was a question that came up. We're talking about the watch faces and all that. The mic, please, McCade. Oh, sorry. This one came in from, where was it? Jeremy Dawkin. And he asked, will the new KUIU watch face through the Connect IQ store be compatible with the new Vivo Active 3?
Right now, it will not, no.
Come on, Garmin. We'll get that taken care of for you, Patrick.
You know what a great upgrade from the Vivo Active would be is the Phoenix.
There you go, Patrick. Christmas is coming.
Yep.
That's why we put them out of line right now.
Yep.
I would agree.
Yeah, so I mean, we have to build like a watch face for each model, so it's actually a little different even between the 5 and the 5X. So if we're getting that request a lot, we can maybe look at Hook and Jeremy and whoever else.
I think this is a benefit to upgrade to the premier watches too. It's why we're carrying them.
Yeah.
Having looked at all the different models and options, why we chose these.
Yep.
Good question.
Awesome. Another one came in just now from Instagram from Photo Milagno. He asked, is the mapping able to be exported to review trails on a computer?
So you're not going to be able to pull the maps out of the watch. What you can do is after you go on your hike, you sync your watch to your Garmin Connect mobile app through Bluetooth. And then when you do that, it actually saves it in the cloud. So you can log into your Garmin Connect account online and look at those trails.
You have a map
computer.
on your computer through Garmin.
Yep, exactly.
Which is what I use. And essentially, I think that's probably going to be the solution to what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'll kind of pop this over here too, just so that you guys can see what the app looks like a little bit. It's not totally optimized for an iPad. Most people are using it on their phone. However, so this is my...
Can you get that, Blaze? Is that good?
Yep.
Cool. This is my apps. This is like the last run that was done. When I sync, this will automatically pop up, and then I can look at my pace information.
Did you crank it on at 7:30? Wait, hold on one second. Dude, you can run 7:16 mile.
So my buddy Dustin, who owns a run shop, took this one out for me.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So Dustin's crushing it.
Dustin, fast.
That was the last sync that happened on my demo watch. But yeah, we can look at elevation profile data.
If you like to geek out on data, this thing's crazy.
It's all in here for sure. But then in terms of the mapping question, I can go back in here and look on satellite imagery exactly where this run took place.
Yep.
So huge amount of data. And of course, if you're out in the mountains, you can get great scale and see this nice imagery with your tracks overlaid onto it. And you can share that in social media or just save it for next time you go out to that location to hunt.
That's sweet.
So yeah.
How useful.
Yep. So that is the Phoenix line, Phoenix 5.
So next we're going to talk about Inreach.
Yeah.
And what was kind of cool timing for me is all the guides on my sheep hunt had Inreach.
Yeah.
And it was just so convenient to connect for them, to base camp, to people. And I had a sat phone.
Yep.
Living in the Stone Ages, I felt like.
Sure.
Just because of the challenge of sat phone, trying to get a call out, dropping calls, satellite's not connecting, you're down in the valley, you're not getting clear line of sight to the sats. Sat phone's ability to just to text and know that message went out.
Yeah, exactly.
So much more convenient. Obviously, costs less.
Yep.
Versus sat phone calls, and this is just a super useful product.
Definitely, yeah. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of GPS devices.
Totally, yeah.
So a lot of people, like if you go into a retail store, you're looking around online and you see Garmin's GPS devices. This kind of just looks like another one of them, right?
Yep.
But the thing that's really unique about this is that Inreach technology on the inside there. So that is a technology that Garmin owns. There was a company called DeLorme that sort of brought that to market, and that's actually where I started working in the GPS business, and Garmin acquired us about 1.5 years ago, and they've built like a really beautiful GPS with that technology. Cool. And so what it is it It's a satellite phone modem. It just doesn't have the voice portion of it. So it talks to the Iridium satellite constellation. Iridium is the only satellite network in orbit that offers 100% global coverage. So there's no fringe areas or coverage gaps I can get with some other sat messengers or sat phones. And then two-way communication capability. So what that means is you can take this with you literally anywhere in the world where you can see some portion of line of sight to the sky and send and receive text messages and emails. And it really just needs to have line of sight with one of Iridium satellites for basically a second to send and receive that data. So that's why it's a little more user-friendly than a sat phone, where a satellite phone, to get a voice connection, and you have to have line of sight with like three or more satellites, and you have to maintain it, and they're moving. So if you're in the mountains, you're going to drop calls or have voice degradation, or sometimes just not able to make a phone call. So this is really slick, streamlined. Doesn't do voice, but it allows you to send and receive text messages and emails back home to any mobile phone number, email address. You can update your social media with it if you want. But the primary reason people are really getting this is because of the safety aspect. So when we're out there, we're trying to get away from technology. So I'm not myself updating my Facebook all the time, but it is nice to have the peace of mind knowing that, like, if my wife needed to get in touch with me, she could send a text message to my Inreach and I would know what's going on, or vice versa.
Absolutely, because I don't know what's going on at home unless I make the phone call, get the phone call out, she's able to answer.
Exactly. The SOS functionality on this, so kind of looks like it would be a button. It's not. We don't want to have something that's easy to push. So what happens is you pull this flat back and there's a recessed button, and you actually have to hold this for about 5 seconds, and then you get the countdown. So there's virtually no way for this thing to go off by itself. If I were to send that message,
what happens?
It sends a text message with your location information and then your account information, so we know who you are and we know where you are. It goes to an international monitoring firm called GEOS Alliance, and they maintain this database. There's other sat phones and other messengers that go to them. They maintain this really great database, so they know when an Inreach call comes in, they know who they are and where they are. They also can see on their database who to call to go rescue them.
Oh, really?
Yep. So they know whose jurisdiction you are in for a rescue situation. So if you're like in, Yosemite National Park, for example, MPS is going to get that call. If you're in the parking lot here, it'd be your county sheriff. So they've got that like really well dialed in, and I'll tell you, it's kind of a rewarding thing for me to see. But we're rescuing people all over the world with these things. Yeah,
people are using it.
We get a holiday weekend and we'll see like 15 rescue reports when we get back to the office on Monday, and it's a lot of situations that are, we're saving people's lives. There's a lot of situations where it's just like someone's having a super inconvenient weekend and we're able to help them out. And that's the real beauty of the two-way communication. So there's other SOS devices that do this similar type of thing.
But they're just going to come get you.
Yeah, so it sends an SOS. Not all of them work everywhere too. So I always recommend, like, if you're looking at a device, make sure that it works where you want it to go. Inreach is easy because we're global. But if it's just sending, and let's say you're out here in California, we have a lot of people that just go drive into the desert and get their truck stuck or run out of gas. If you just have one button and, if you're not in a situation right now, but you might be in 5 days, you might be sort of tempted to push it, right? And then you're going to get a helicopter coming out a lot of the time.
Which isn't inexpensive.
With Inreach, we have people that do that, have that situation all the time, but they can, instead of raising the cavalry, they can text a family member or see if a family member can get a tow truck, or at the very least, when you call search and rescue or county sheriff or MPS or whoever, they know not only that you need assistance, but what type of assistance you need, right? So
if you push that button, it reaches out to them, will they text you back to figure out what's going on? And so I see what you're saying. You can respond to that. It's this kind of emergency, or I'm bleeding to death. Or I'm falling in a crevasse.
So when you send the text message for SOS, it just sends a preset message. And you can, use this to kind of type out whatever you need to. You get pretty used to this. I use the app on my phone a lot. So we have
preset?
So you can preset some stuff in here if you're, let's say, you can type out whatever you want to, but let's say you're just out and you need to check in at home. So this says checking in, all is well. Running late, I'm fine. Pick me up here. That typically goes right to my wife's cell phone, and then
you send that one a lot, I bet, huh?
Depends on how much trouble I want to be in when I get back. So yeah, you can do it all on there. What we've done is we know a lot of people like their phone is their primary camera when they go out on a hunt, right? So they're going to bring it with them even if they know it's not going to work. So we developed a very robust smartphone app. It's called EarthMate, and see if you guys can see this.
You get that, Blaze?
Got it.
Cool. When our customers are connected with Bluetooth, then they can just grab someone right out of their contact list and start, typing away just like you would normally.
And it's going to send it through the Inreach.
Yep. It'll show that same conversation will be mirrored on the Inreach. So
that's awesome.
Really nice, user-friendly solution.
Can that send photos?
It can't send photos, no. That's a request we get a lot. The problem is that photo packets are so much bigger than a text package.
No, of course. I was just curious.
It's something like the military, law enforcement would like that capability. People would like to be able to send a
trophy
summit
photos.
selfie or a trophy photo. Yep. But going forward, we're kind of waiting on the satellites themselves to get that technology. So yeah, not quite yet. The other aspect of this is, I said this looks like a lot of our other GPS devices, and it is a very robust handheld GPS. So if you get this product, the Garmin Inreach Explorer Plus, this is the one that has our mapping built into it.
Okay.
This is the only one you guys brought in, which I think is a good call because most people, it's like $50 more for this one.
Wish they got that.
Exactly. Yeah, it comes with just a huge amount of data. So, right where we're standing here, I get super high resolution topography built into this.
Now, how is it getting the GPS location without clear line of sight?
So I walked right outside and got a GPS fix, and so just kind of kept it. But typically indoors, it's going to be a little tricky. Yep. This does have a pretty robust antenna on it. But I get mapping built into this. It's 1 to 24K resolution for all of the U.S. and we get 1 to 125K for Mexico, and then there's pretty high resolution, or the best resolution maps you can get for Canada built into this as well. So North American topography. So that means this GPS has more mapping in it than any other GPS that Garmin supports right now. And then if you've got your mobile phone, you actually get more maps. So you can get that high resolution topography. What you do is you download these maps into your app through Wi-Fi before you go on your trip. Sure. And then I can actually put my phone or my tablet into airplane mode, connect with Bluetooth, and then this GPS chipset's showing my position. So I can see satellite imagery. I can look at public land data.
That was my question.
Yep. So one kind of add-on for the Inreach Explorer customer is when you get this device, it's going to come with the topographic maps. But if you want hunting specific data, like parcels or private land information or game management units, you can add that to your account and then download those mapping layers into the app or into the device. So, I have the private land ownership info right here for California loaded into this. And then these green lines are our game management units. So if you're hunting something, that's kind of on a border, you can always make sure that you're in the spot that you need to be in. And then of course you can, on the app, download satellite imagery, which is super helpful if you're hunting something that's a little bit more topographic, or you want to be, coming up to a clearing, that type of thing.
And the connection on this GPS is probably stronger when you get off your iPhone.
Yes.
The mapping.
Yeah, a lot of people try to get these apps and go hunt with them.
A lot of guys do.
Yeah. A lot of them are really good nowadays, but the problem you run into is the battery life of your phone is kind of a limiting factor. So
that's what I was going to ask. What's the battery life on that?
So on this guy, the battery life test that we did is sort of the most common usage is people are tracking with this. So they're updating their position to a website every 10 minutes that friends or family could go look at. You'll get 100 hours of battery life on the Inreach in that 10-minute tracking mode. If you're using the the mapping screen with the backlight lit up all the time, you're not going to get 100 hours. Sure. But there's a couple variants in there. Most people I talk to can go on a week-long expedition and get through without having to recharge. If you do, it's micro USB rechargeable in the field, so super easy.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep. So that's the Inreach Explorer Plus. Yeah. The one thing that'll come up, people have this question, is inherently with satellite phones and other satellite messengers out there, there's a subscription to get the SOS and the messaging. Ours is really appealing to a lot of people when they look into it, because we have what we call our Freedom plans, which are essentially month-to-month plans. So if you're just going to be hunting a season, you can turn this thing on for let's say the fall and pay as little as about $15 a month for the months you want to use it, $0 a month when you're not using it. Maybe for a larger expedition to Alaska where you're going to be off the grid more, need more texting capability, you're looking at $35 for our middle plan a month, or $65.
That's the downside with sat phones for me is
they're expensive. Yeah, exactly. The phones are expensive, and then if you want to rent them, I mean, most people renting a phone for a month, you could just go buy an Inreach a lot of the time. Yep.
Absolutely. So they're a great product.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to absolutely be using this instead of a sat phone going forward.
Yeah.
And McCain, let's jump into some questions. I know we're running long a little bit, about 30 minutes into it. Let's dive into some questions. Great overview.
Yeah, thanks.
I always learn something from you every time you come in and go, oh yeah, I got to be able to figure out how to do that on my watch.
Sure.
So much to it.
Sounds good. Let's jump right into questions. Cool. So this one came in from Jason Kafer.
What's up, Jason?
And he asked, what are the advantages of the Phoenix over a Suunto?
Yeah, I mean, Suunto makes great products also. I would say that if you're looking at a mountain sports watch, the user interface, the breadth of data, and then of course the fact that it has mapping in it and the wrist-based heart rate are super unique features to Garmin and a mountain sports watch right now. Yeah. I
mean, I was committed to Suunto. I was a Suunto customer. Sure. I'm terrible about switching products if I have something that's basic and works for me.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Jason, I switched to Garmin for this summer, that summer hunt, because I need more data capture.
Yep.
Trust me, it's well worth the changeover. To me, it's a much better product. You probably won't say that about your competition, but having used both, there's really no comparison by choosing the Garmin, in my opinion.
Yep.
This question came in from Facebook from William Schmaltz, and he asked, are you ever going to upgrade to replaceable batteries for the Inreach? That's my only holdout.
It's not something I think we're looking at real quick. Sorry, there's a lot of folks.
Everything's going the other way.
Yeah,
like no replaceable.
Lithium batteries are getting really good. So there's I talked to. I worked a lot in Alaska, and there's folks up there you just don't get sun for a big portion of the year. So solar charging stuff is difficult. If you're in colder climates, that can reduce the capacity of the lithium batteries. At 100 hours of battery life in the operating range. So if you're in colder climates, this will transmit, so it'll send and receive out of like a heavy parka. So I always kind of have it on me when I'm climbing or skiing, just to keep it warmed up.
Which you should do for all your electronics and devices that have
exactly.
batteries.
The battery life on the newer model is just so robust that if you'd have to be on like a 2-week expedition or more to be really inconvenienced by it, and in that case, like a lot of people have some sort of vehicle solution, or they've got a recharging solution.
Yeah, we bring rechargeable.
Yeah, so we've thought about doing an accessory, and I bet if more requests kept rolling in, we'd continue to think about it. But we don't do a lot of talking about like new products that are coming out either. So I wouldn't be able to tell you if we were.
If I find out about it, I'll tell you guys. I won't let them out of here until I find out.
Yep.
So now that we're on the topic of charging and battery, Seth T12 asked, "What is your recommendation for charging this product?"
Like what to bring?
What to bring? Yeah.
I like I always make sure this thing is charged before you go. I've myself hit the trailhead and had half charge or sometimes no charge. You guys carry Goal Zero. I really like their Nomad 7 panel. It's really small. It's about this size, folds up, and can recharge this on the fly. But I always recommend getting an external accessory battery. So like the Switch 10 is about 2,000 milliamp hours, I think. So it will recharge this just about one full charge. And so with this, and then one of those topped off.
Which is the stick, the smaller stick.
Exactly. Yeah,
we carry both. We carry a bigger one too that I bring both of them on a long trip.
Yeah, so any of that stuff will work. I charge it off the
And everything's going to rechargeable. The headlamps now, the watches, the Inreach, and just having a good battery solution and a panel to help recharge those batteries is something we carry and recommend to all of our customers.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people also want to charge their phone or their camera or some of their other electronics as well.
Yeah, Goal Zero we found to be really, having done a bunch of research, and it's the best choice of products out there for recharging electronics.
Yeah, I've been happy with their stuff as well.
Yeah,
so.
Good question. What else you got, McCade?
Another question came in on Instagram from Blake_Pruitt, and he asked, does Garmin have a watch that will show water depth for Freedive applications?
Ooh, good question.
It's a great question. It's timely. So if you go to Garmin.com, we actually just announced our Descent watch. Yesterday was our first dive computer. And so it's going to have everything you would need in a dive computer for free diving and the rest of the scuba applications as well. So
He already knew about it.
Yeah,
It's a beta question.
That's probably the project manager for that
exactly.
watch.
Yeah, someone set it up.
Yep.
Good question.
Another Instagram question, Rooster22_7. Is the Inreach GPS function as good as other GPS ones out there?
So there are other GPSs out there that have what's called a GLONASS chipset. So in terms of like marking the corner of your property, they're going to be a little bit more accurate than this. This is going to be within plus or minus 5 meters. So for a rescue situation, hiking on a trail, if you have good line of sight to the sky, you're going to have very accurate track.
Okay.
For like geocaching, where you're trying to find a little fake log in a pile of other logs, it's not going to be quite as accurate. For everything I do, I don't notice the difference. Really.
Yeah, it would be plenty for me.
Yep.
Good question.
Perfect. So I think we got time for just a couple more.
Let's do 2 more.
2 more. Sounds good. Let's see. This was a good one. Came in from AIM Taxidermy, and they asked, what temperature is it rated for? We outfit for clients in the Arctic, but the majority of the devices freeze up.
So, yeah, I assume the question is about
how cold
the
can it go?
Inreach device. For the Inreach, it's at about 4 degrees Fahrenheit, which you will encounter in the Arctic.
Sure.
You'll run into problems. So that's why I recommend having it on your person underneath your coat, and then if you're pulling it out for a couple minutes here and there to look at the map or do your text messaging,
long-term exposure is when
people will put it on like their snow machine handlebars. People will put it externally on their pack, and that's where when it drops down well below freezing, you're going to run into some of those issues. But there's no reason why you can't have this like in your parka and still receive a text message, right? So,
what about for the watches? Is there a temperature rating on those?
For these guys, it's going to be about the same. But the nice thing about the watches is they're on your wrist, right? So the body temperature is,
you're probably not wearing a T-shirt and the watch at sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah, I haven't heard of.
Unless you're going to chirotherapy, which I did the other day for the first time. You go to minus 171 for 3.5 minutes. Maybe I'll try the watch next.
Take it in there.
I will.
See what happens. I think you'll be fine.
I think I will too.
Yep.
Alrighty, last question. I know we did touch on this briefly, but Rogue1013 asked, does it tell where public land boundaries are on GPS?
So the watches do not. They'll just have the topography. The Inreach Explorer, it's going to have public land loaded into it. So it's got the 24K resolution, and then there's a public land layer. Okay. Same thing with the app. If you want the game management units and the private land ownership parcel data, that's an add-on. So it's $40 for the first year, and that gets you access to that data for all 50 states.
Great.
So.
And is it same charge every year?
So right now it's $40 to turn it on, and then it's going to be $20 a year after that to maintain access to it.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Great questions. Well, I hope everybody this was helpful. I know it was helpful to me. I've met with you several times on these different products, always learn something. Appreciate you taking the time to come down, spend time with our customers. Thanks for everyone tuning in on KUIU Live. It's always an honor to get them to take time out of their day to listen to us talk about what we do and unique products.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for having us. You guys have an awesome customer base, and we're excited to be
part of it.
Garmin's
a perfect partner for us, and I'm glad to have you guys part of this business, and I appreciate the attention you've given us. Appreciate the custom watch face.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So about a week on that. It's kind of what
we'll let you guys know. And again, thanks for taking the time coming down and coming on KUIU Live.
Thanks, Jason.
Good having you.
Appreciate it.